morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Unspoken Truth. I'm the founder of Mutual Respect and the host, Daniel. And today's just a very brief clip to outline the fact that society has fallen so far from grace that most of us can't see the true value of the meaning of life anymore. Does anybody remember when family used to be the whole purpose that we all strived to benefit, that we all strived to leave a legacy for, and that we all made damn well sure that we protected? Over the past 50 years in Australia, we have been deliberately divided. We have been sold out. There's been a global agenda at play, and we're coming into the last phase, you might call it, where everything they want to implement, they are going to implement, but they're only going to implement it because of the divide between us. Family is a mere shadow of its former self in this country. There was once upon a time where, as the oldest in my family, if you ever hurt one of my siblings, it was my responsibility and obligation to rectify that problem. Unfortunately, due to outside influences, due to life experiences, I now no longer have that protective nature of my brother and sisters. And if I look at the bigger picture, this has been a deliberate ploy to force us to stop caring for each other, to become so hell-bent on individual success and greed that we have done this at the very detriment of our families. When you weaken the family unit, society becomes far easier to control for the bastards at the top of the food chain. Make no mistake, the very definition of their own coercive control legislation is exactly what the government is doing to us Australians. Unfortunately, majority of men in this country have been beaten down, destabilized and traumatized to the point where they are now weak as piss. You see, back when I grew up, no man would stand by and watch a genuine lady or elderly or children be harmed in their vicinity without intervening. Now, let's look at Melbourne for the perfect example. People are too scared to intervene because they don't want to be targeted. People are too scared to intervene because they'll probably be criminally charged for saving somebody else after being attacked by a machete. See, this is all an import problem. We didn't breed these sorts of invading parasitic cavemen that have no moral compass. They were brought in to destroy our way of life. But the sad reality is, we've allowed it to happen. Australian men, this is a direct statement for you to comprehend. The next time you're looking in the mirror, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Would my past relatives be proud of the legacy I intend to leave and the protection I've supplied my family and country? Will your children be thankful for you being their father? How do you want to be remembered when your time on this earth is up? As somebody who was too fearful to have a public opinion? Or as somebody that jumped in line, stood side by side with other like-minded Aussie men, drew a line in the sand and said, not on my fucking watch. Not during my time frame will I allow my country to go to shit through an Islamic invasion that has been globally and politically planned for a very long time. See, Australia is, was and will always be a Christian-founded country, in my opinion. But yet we are being forced to not speak about Christianity. Christians are being targeted for speaking about God in public. And for anybody out there that's doubting what I'm saying, have a look in the UK. Please remove your fucking head from the sand, stop pulling the ostrich analogy, and educate yourself. Our country is going to end up like the UK unless we establish unification fucking yesterday. If we want our country back, unification is our only chance. No ifs, no buts. No one person can bring this down. No one organisation can save us. My definition of an Australian man, is somebody that stands up for those that are too weak to stand up for themselves. Is somebody that protects the vulnerable at any cost. And if that means laying your very life on the line to protect a child, regardless if they're yours or not, I would happily do that. Would you? See, I'm not here to make friends. I don't want fucking friends. I want my children's future safeguarded. I want my country returned to the glory that it used to be. And I would love to be able to say that I've reinstated mutual respect for men, fathers, and families. But I can't do that myself. This isn't a one-man band. We either unite or we will fall, divided Australia. Make no mistake. This country is becoming a third world shithole on purpose. And for those that have got the educational background to be able to research for yourself, we all know what the Lima Agreement said. Australia will not manufacture anything moving forward. It apparently is our turn in the world to be a third world country. So unless, I repeat, unless we unite and fight back against the global invasion, our children's very futures are bleak. They will be forced to live in chaos. They will be forced to live in dictatorship. And the freedom that we enjoyed throughout our childhood will be nothing more than a page in a history book in 20 years from now. And it all comes down to the fact that we've been conditioned to be a pack of gutless fuckers. Australian men. This is who this message is for. The baton was passed on to us from our grandfathers and great-grandfathers to ensure that our families enjoyed freedom, that they gave their lives to make sure we had. And we've dropped the ball. We've become soft. We've been deliberately weakened. We've been made to feel ashamed if we have any sort of alpha male traits. Toxic masculinity is a fabricated statement to pull men into line, to make them into simps, to make them too scared to stand up and fight for what you know deep down is morally right. Fuck the consequences. Stand united, Australian men. Get up off your fucking knees and show these bastards that we ain't done yet. And the only way that takes place is if we all stand side by side. No egos, no his way, no my way, no fucking highway. We do it together, or we can't do it at all. I hope that I've got under your skin. I hope I've ruffled a few feathers. And I hope the questions I've asked you can actually ask yourself. And the next time that you look at your children and your grandchildren, in your own mind ask the one main question. Is your life more important than their future? Because I know mine's not. You need to get to that realization before you can understand that our sacrifice, just like our past, is to benefit our future. If you're not willing to make it, well then you're fucking un-Australian.